What industries do you look to for inspiration for innovation within healthcare?
Great question. My answer would be all. I think there's a lot of nuggets to gain from all industries. So when you look at the energy sector, there's things that they do to try to limit the use of energy. And so from that standpoint, we're trying to limit the use of healthcare. Those are both two very precious resources. So I think there's things we can learn from them. Retail, obviously, on how to brand, how to get things out there, banking services, all that stuff kind of brings things into a patient's hands or a consumer's hands, putting things in your pocket. I think all those different industries are all things that we can learn from. We never within healthcare had to, or very rarely had to, focus much on the consumer aspect of delivery. People came to us because their doctors told them to come to us, or people picked those doctors because they were part of the payer plans, then they were in network versus out of network. I don't have an in-network bank. I don't have an in-network, retail shop. I can go to wherever I want. And I think now that we're continued to move, although I believe at a slower pace than expectations, as in terms of consumer directed and high deductible plans, people do have choice to go in and out of network for the best value of their dollar that they're pulling out of their wallet. So from that standpoint, I think there's all those different sectors you got to learn from. And I don't think there's any specific one that would lead all of them. I do believe they all have advantages where they, moved ahead. And that's where I think when you look at like the Charlotte CIO Association, when we started coming together a half a dozen years ago or so, more informally, part of what we realized was 80 to 85% of all the work that we do was the same. There's very few that actually of the things that we performed as a CIO that actually was different in a bank versus a energy sector versus the healthcare sector. And so once we found that we're not that quote unquote special that we always thought we were, it was really great to be able to share things back and forth and to use some of the techniques that they've used and bring that on to in the healthcare industry.
Yeah, so that's great advice. So if you're a healthcare IT person, develop those relationships outside the industry, and you might learn some things, and they might learn some things from you. So it's great to have those relationships.